Come here, let me show you my work here. Look. Here you've got one joint here, another joint here, one here and another here. And that's why many people call this type of layout a fish scale pattern. Exactly because of this, right? The joints between them here. The truth is, besides being beautiful, it's a lot of work, right? The professional Ocasio Souza, my partner who's doing the work there, doesn't get much done. It's a job that doesn't progress much during the day, right? It's a job that he needs to pay a lot of attention to do because first there are a lot of joints, right? You see, you have a joint here, you have a joint here, you have a joint here, so you have a joint every 20 centimeters, that's where the pieces meet, right? From different joints in the measurements he has, right? Here we have a piece that's 120 by 20, right? This model of porcelain tile that the client put here in the apartment, that she's putting here in her apartment, we're doing this work. This one here, man, let me tell you something. The labor cost per square meter, and you, as a professional watching this video, will agree with me. It doesn't go for less than 100 reais per square meter for labor. It doesn't go for less than 100 reais. If there are a lot of square meters, like if I have 500 square meters to install, then you can negotiate to do it for around 100 reais per square meter, maybe about 100 or 110, something like that. If you only have a few square meters, it doesn't go for less than 100, not even here in Sao Paulo where we're working, not even in China. Because it's a lot of work, man, but it looks nice. Take a look here. See? Can you notice where the pieces meet here? They're always alternating here, you know? Meeting, let's say, head to head, tip to tip. See how cool that is? This part here is still being done by Souza, right? I don't even know if I can step here. Can I step here, Souza? I can, right? It's fine here. It's good here. And then, when it's finished, when the grouting is done and it's cleaned up, then we'll be able to see the real beauty, right? How nice this floor looks. But it's cool. It's really beautiful, isn't it? But it takes a lot of work. Okay, guys? Here's a tip for you, okay? This is the kind of layout you can use in your house, in your apartment, when you're going to do it, right? And choose the type of flooring, the wood look porcelain tile. There's the traditional straight layout, one tile next to the other. There's also the option of staggering them by 20%, right? Placing them like this, aligned. There's also this layout format that's really beautiful. After everything here is ready, I'll make a video for you showing it, right? After everything is finished, after everything is painted. We're doing a lot of things here on this project. And let me tell you, this is an excellent layout tip for you, okay? And if you take a look, this floor model here is from Portobello. All porcelain tile manufacturers have the wood look model. But if you look at the product's own packaging, let me see if I can show you here. Look. Hold on, let me just grab a box here, Souza. Let me try to show it to everyone. Is there a loose one on the floor there? Here, look. On the box itself, they show it. Look. Let me see where I can find it here. Here, look. There's this layout pattern we call a staggered offset, right? From 15 to 50 by 50%. In other words, imagine you're going to take the piece 1 in 20, you put one here, another one right next to it, aligned. Or offsetting them by up to 50% from each other. Right? From 15 to 50, 50%. And there is this type of layout pattern that, in my opinion, besides being a lot of work, looks really beautiful. This one is from Portobello 120 by 20, which the client chose to put here. And another interesting thing, I'll find it here for you, which is a very common question that people always ask me here in the videos. Installation instructions. See here? Grout joint 1.5 millimeters, okay? What is the manufacturer saying to me as the installation professional? You need to have a 1.5 millimeter joint. What is a 1.5 millimeter joint? It's this right here, guys, look. It's the 1.5 millimeter joint right here. Look, it's the spacing between one tile and the next. 1.5 millimeters. Some people say, no, but I want a butt joint. If it says on the box, when you buy it, if it says like this, look, it can be installed with a butt joint. All right, you can use a butt joint. But if the manufacturer specifies a minimum joint, a minimum installation joint, like 1.5 millimeters, and you want to use a butt joint, you, as a professional, are taking on an unnecessary responsibility. You understand? But the client requested it. You'll need to explain that to them. The manufacturer guides us, recommends that the gap should be 1.5 millimeters, right? The spacing between the tiles. We don't use a butt joint. The manufacturer doesn't allow it, and then you don't take responsibility, okay? Why? Because a lot of people like to use a butt joint because you don't see the grout, right? The tiles are closer together, right? Theoretically, it looks nicer too, but the space between each tile is exactly to allow for expansion, right? From the floor's movement and the material itself naturally. And that's why a lot of people sometimes end up with a headache because they don't understand, they don't read. They just read what's written here in the installation instructions. Then over time, have you seen those videos on the internet? People are sitting there on the couch watching TV, and then out of nowhere, the floor just goes like this, puff up. Have you seen those videos online on social networks? You're just relaxing and watching. Then the floor is just there, and out of nowhere it goes, puff, shoots up, you know? It bursts, pieces fly up in the air. The most common problem, right? The most common reason this happens is not leaving an expansion joint. Well, there are several reasons. You're talking about this, right? There are several. But one of the reasons is when you put the tiles right next to each other, glue them, and don't leave the expansion gap recommended by the manufacturer, okay? So guys, if you're researching, looking for a flooring layout idea for your home, here it is, herringbone style. This is the model, look, herringbone style. This video is mainly to tell you about the type of flooring and the layout. It's not a tutorial teaching you how to install it, but I just want to show you, look. We're using AC3 mortar, which is recommended. All porcelain tiles need to use AC3 mortar, all right? That's the first point. Second point, mortar on the floor, mortar on the tile, just like Souza is doing over there, look. Mortar on the floor and tile. Third point, the standard calls for this too. Show it here, Souza. Souza will place it, go ahead. The mortar on the floor has to be in the same direction as it is on the tile, see? The mortar lines have to be in the same direction as they are on the tile. And this is also technical guidance under the standard. The mortar lines must run in the same direction, so that when he places it, the air can escape and doesn't create air bubbles underneath between the mortar and your tile. Previously, the standard advised crossing them. Apply mortar in one direction and the mortar on the tile in the other direction. Nowadays, they've updated the standard. Now you have to apply the mortar on the floor, the ridges, in the same direction as the tile. Okay? Edipo, look at this great question. But this tile is so small, do I need to put mortar on the tile too, or just on the floor? I've always put mortar only on the floor. I've never put it on the tile, never had a problem. We follow the standard. We follow the recommendation. If there's ever a problem, I'm responsible for the project. Souza, my installer, we're covered. We are fully compliant with the regulations. Do you understand me? This applies to you as a professional, and it's also advice for you as a client. To know if your contractor, the person you hired to install the flooring in your house, is doing it the right way. But don't judge, okay? Don't take this as the only reference. These are just some quick tips. If possible, we should even make a step-by-step video of the installation, right? Showing how to square it, the initial layout, and so on. But it's just so you understand that there are these little rules we need to follow to ensure good floor installation and proper alignment. When you run your hand over it, you can't feel one tile higher than another. Okay? There are also the wedges. Look at how many wedges are used on a tile like this. See? That's why I say it's a lot of work. See? Notice how many pieces, wedges, and spaces Souza used here. That's why I say clients sometimes think labor is expensive, but it's actually just a lot of work. Okay, it really is a lot of work, all right? Follow us, like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, okay? And there's an interesting tip for you too. See those little orange pieces that Souza is using over there? Toss one to me, Souza. This one, look. This is a screw type wedge, right? We put it on the tile and screw it in here until it's tight, and then it works really well. This piece is really good to use, especially with this type of flooring. I'll leave a link to where you can buy it. It's really cheap, a little bag with 100 or 50 in it that we bought there. Look, I'll put it in this video's description. It's really great and helps you a lot. It makes it much easier when you're installing this flooring. All right, take care. See you in the next video.